Boy, they really milk these properties for all they're worth. Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 movie franchises that later became cash cows. For this list, we'll be looking at film series that, after the critical or financial success of the first flick, went on to pump out sequels seemingly with the sole purpose of making money. We won't, however, be including franchises that were designed to be monolithic in the first place, such as the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Let's get after it.
If you like what you're hearing, be sure to check out the full song at the link below.
Number 10, Transformers franchise. Given that it's a big screen adaptation of a cartoon and toy line, Transformers was likely destined for commercialization from the very beginning.
My name is Optimus Prime. We are autonomous robotic organisms from the planet Cybertron. But you can call us Autobots for short.
Be that as it may, the extent of which this property has been milked is remarkable.
Echo on a signal, you wind up with a formula for interdimensional energy creation a mass and light alone can't possibly explain. Come on, guys, I can't be the only one in the class.
The very particular formula laid down in the first film of explosions, MacGuffins, comic relief, and product placement was essentially copied and pasted for the next 4 movies. And despite critics hating them, people ate it up. So Paramount just keeps them coming. Here's hoping the Bumblebee reboot, which was much better received than its predecessors, is the first step in a new direction for the property. As the spin-off proves, you can try something new, craft a movie with heart, and still make bank.
You've got people out there that need you. And so do I.
Number 9, Saw franchise.
So you're going to watch yourself die today, Adam, or do something about it?
I don't get it.
The original Saw movie was a massive hit by horror standards. It earned its $1.2 million budget back nearly 100 times over and launched the career of filmmaker James Wan. A thoroughly effective horror thriller, Saw focuses on 2 men chained in a bathroom who've been given a deadly choice. Unfortunately, creativity took a backseat as the studio began churning out annual sequels 6 years in a row.
Man, that's nothing. Get over it.
What do you mean, get over it?
The increasingly outlandish traps, twists, and disposable characters also gave the franchise an ugly reputation. With a new installment that seems to be moving away from the more repetitive aspects of the series due in 2021, only time will tell if it's a return to form or just another cash grab.
Whoever did this has another motive. They're targeting cops.
Number 8, Halloween franchise. A seminal entry in the slasher genre, the Halloween movie franchise generally sees its victims stalked by masked and silent killer Michael Myers, for the most part.
Tommy!
Over the years, the franchise has weathered retcons, remakes, and whatever they were trying to do with Season of the Witch.
The clock is ticking. Hurry home, kids, and happy Halloween.
Gotta do something. Call somebody.
While the first movie is considered a horror masterpiece, few of its many sequels were well received. The middle period of releases, also known as the Thorn Trilogy, is particularly maligned for having needlessly complicated the mythology. Thankfully, the 2018 film took things back to basics, which is encouraging for the future.
Have you ever really liked a girl and you just couldn't have her? I'm sorry, man. I'll piece out of your hair, man.
Number 7, Paranormal Activity franchise. A found footage horror series, Paranormal Activity depicts various characters encountering and filming demons in their homes. This low-budget and seemingly authentic aesthetic was initially part of the appeal. Plus, it certainly helped the profit margins. Unfortunately, the quality of the franchise has varied wildly from one installment to the next. And while the found footage gimmick arguably wore thin with each progressive film, attempts to vary the formula haven't done much to improve the quality of later sequels.
Toby, come out. Toby. Jimmy! Christy, what are you doing?
The series has been on hiatus for several years, but a new film is in development, so we'll have to see if it proves a fresh start or just more of the same. Number 6. Jaws franchise. The original Jaws is a suspenseful masterpiece about a shark that terrorizes a beach community.
Shark! It's a shark!
The film is widely considered to be the first summer blockbuster, and its influence cannot be overstated. But given that the shark is killed at the end of the film, the story should have ended there. Seeing dollar signs, however, the studio decided to make it a franchise, driven by the concept that sharks are monsters.
It's obvious the man has made up his mind.
You bet your life I made up my mind. But I'm telling you and I'm telling everybody at this table that that's a shark. And I know what a shark looks like because I've seen one up close. And you better do something about this one because I don't intend to go through that hell again.
Each successive sequel made less money and received harsh criticism than the last, culminating in 1987's widely panned Jaws 4, The Revenge.
What do you mean she said it was coming?
What do you know about it?
Well, she's got the idea in her head that the shark that killed Martin and Sean is following the family.
Thankfully, Universal took the hint, and there hasn't been a Jaws sequel since. It's not that we're afraid to go back in the water. We'd just rather watch the original.
Thank you very much, Mr. Quint. We'll take it under advisement.
Number 5. The Conjuring universe. Although we considered including the similar Insidious franchise, The Conjuring started stronger and expanded more aggressively.
Murder this crooked family and love the crooked laugh.
A cinematic universe of interconnected horror films, The Conjuring universe follows various paranormal investigators looking into hauntings and demons across several decades, with a recurring villain in the form of a demonically possessed doll, among others.
We said yes. And that's when it became stronger.
The franchise has featured some of the best horror movies in recent memory, but also a couple of real stinkers. Some of these films feel like Conjuring Universe movies in name only, as if they've been labeled as such purely for profit rather than actually contributing anything to the lore. Given that the Conjuring universe has made nearly $2 billion worldwide against a cumulative budget of under $140 million, it's clearly working. Number 4. Jurassic Park franchise. This huge franchise revolves around the concept of a modern-day zoo/amusement park featuring living, breathing dinosaurs, which, surprise, surprise, run amok.
We're gonna make a fortune with this place.
The first movie has stood the test of time with its endearing characters, great music, and surprisingly timeless effects. Unfortunately, subsequent installments have felt like an exercise in diminishing returns.
We get this thing out of here.
No, we just said
Mommy's very angry.
Dare we say it? It's almost as if the greedy corporations behind the parks are the ones behind all these sequels. Cardboard, forgettable characters abound, and the return of stars from the original trilogy feel like transparent attempts to recapture the magic of the older films.
No. Call for help.
At the end of the day, it's all about profitability, and so long as they keep making billions at the box office, expect the sequels to keep coming.
As deeply sad as that would be, we altered the course of natural history. This is a correction.
Number 3. Pirates of the Caribbean franchise. A movie franchise based on the Disney attraction of the same name, Pirates of the Caribbean proved to be a runaway success. And it did so thanks to its refreshing, swashbuckling fantasy story and Johnny Depp's charismatic Oscar-nominated performance as Captain Jack Sparrow. After the success of the first movie, a pair of sequels to round out a trilogy seemed fair enough, even if they didn't quite match the first film in quality.
Why is the rum always gone?
But then they just kept making movies, despite clearly being short on stories worth telling.
My great regret. But never too late to learn, mate.
And so what cinema goers got instead was a lot of recycled elements minus any real heart. We get that the studio is eager to get that box office gold, but these adventures don't measure up.
This has gone far enough.
No, it has not.
Listen not to him. Carry on. Carry on.
Number 2. Terminator franchise.
Come with me if you want to live.
This sci-fi action franchise began as the story of a time-traveling robot sent back to preemptively kill the future leader of the human resistance. And it's essentially continued in all that vein for decades.
No fit but what we make for ourselves.
She intends to change the future.
Yeah, I guess.
The franchise has contorted itself through multiple timelines and leads only to maintain the same essential premise, retreading old ground with familiar characters and faces to consistently disappointing results. Audiences have come to expect disappointment from this franchise, but they've historically continued to pack the theater regardless.
Are we on the same page?
Yeah. We're on the same page.
That is, until Terminator Dark Fate, which, despite being a slight improvement on sequels past, reportedly lost about $130 million.
Well, I need answers from you two. So let's get her in the car.
Given how iconic this property is, however, don't expect to be saying hasta la vista to the Terminator franchise anytime soon, even if plans for future films aren't currently in the works. Before we get to our top pick, here's a few more cash cows that deserve honorable mentions. Fast and Furious franchise. Cars initially sparked viewers' interest, but now it's just action.
Why are they shooting at me? Maybe because you're in an orange Lamborghini. I don't know.
Shrek franchise. Audiences can't get enough of Shrek and Donkey's adventures.
Outhouse! Yeah!
And they live happily
Ever?
after.
Friday the 13th franchise. Jason never dies, so people just keep watching.
Hey, Slappy! Got a little something for you.
Oh, wow.
A Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. The nightmare never ends when you have a villain like Freddy.
I'll get you, my pretty, and your little soul, too!
The Exorcist franchise. The acclaim of the original kept bringing people back for more and more.
Come sit with us, Lancaster. I promise I won't bite.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. Star Wars franchise. Look, we love Star Wars, you love Star Wars, everybody loves Star Wars.
Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope.
And that means that this sprawling space opera franchise is basically all but guaranteed to make money.
No. I am your father.
Although creator George Lucas had a very specific and not always well-received vision for the films, the company has been milking it for all it's worth, especially since being acquired by Disney, with spin-off movies and TV shows galore.
This is unbelievable. I'm definitely gonna have some words with someone about this.
Granted, it's been a cash cow for decades, what with how many action figures and other merchandise it's sold, but it's become a little more prominent recently, and it's far, far away from ending.
Let your death be the final word in the story of rebellion.
Do you agree with our picks? Let us know in the comments. And hey, if you're a fan of the song playing right now, be sure to check out the music video for it right here.